I took a week off. You can hear it on my voice. I got a bad flu, but it's getting better. My voice has just not come back with a normalcy. But it's been interesting yet disturbing couple of days. Um, Case in point about the young girl, the 7-year-old girl from South Africa, and what happened to her is really sad. And it begs to wonder, like, why why are we in a society right now that kids are also the places you think kids are safe, they are not safe anymore. Or I start talking beef because now if I try to use my voice it goes like so as I was saying, kids aren't safe in the places we expect them to be safe anymore, with be it in school, be it with relatives, and not just a case. Like worldwide, it's becoming a weird and weirder place for kids, and how how people. I'm trying to understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. And yes, I'll say I'll try to understand, but my conscience cannot let me to understand how you will do that to a child and yet pretend to be normal. The other side is gender violence has become on a rise, not just in our country, all over the world. And it's not just uh, the victims being ladies. We also hear about men being ladies. You hear about the love if somebody wants uh, ladies. There are some ladies who manipulate relationships and also abuse their partners. And because they know how to play their victim card, I'm not saying all, but some of them, because some of them will use the victim card very well and effectively, and manipulate the system for them to have their way and make the man's life miserable. Where did our conscience go? Actually, that's the main question of all this. Did our conscience and humanity go? Because it's wanting, it's really wanting. Why in a society you hear uh, crazy people killing each other just for the mere fact I want to leave you, or I want to dump you, and you can, if I can't have you, no one else can. Hi, welcome. In case of any comments, you can comment below. And we need to talk about this more. And we need actions being taken, because we have heard of many people doing such things and still be free outside here, and yet the victims continue being victimized, and it's sad. What am I doing? I'm talking about the state of the world as it is right now, about gender violence, about child abuse. Case in point, the 7-year-old girl from South Africa. If you are not to comment about it, if you don't want to talk about it, if it's sensitive for you, scroll over. So yeah, it's crazy how systems don't work for their victims. I'll say from here in our country, Kenya, even reporting an incident, it's it takes a lot of courage, and also it also takes a lot of toll. I've heard of instances when victims go and report their case and the police person or the police, yeah, I'll say police person who's recording the statements either make it a joking matter, call the colleagues and laugh at the victim in the face, or even don't take it seriously. And some have even been told that you are the one who wanted the assault. And I'm like, where is the sensitivity? And yet we have many people who are in prisons who are innocent just because they could not afford to have a good lawyer, or they could not afford to pay for their bond or bail, or also they could have been, the system could have been manipulated for them to be in the prisons. Case in point, if you go against somebody who has power and has influence and has money, they can manipulate the system for you to stay in prison. And we know, like in our system here in Kenya, once you're, let's say, there's a case against you on the police OB, you're taken either to jail. After jail, we do have hearings to court if it's something that is the process has continued to the courts. And sometimes while waiting, if you could not afford the bail or bond, you're taken to remand. And some people have stayed in remand for years, waiting for their cases to be heard and to to move on to the next step. And once you're sentenced, that's prison. Depending, there's maximum prison and then there's normal prison. Uh, For me, I know all of them are in Kenya are maximum prison because breakouts are very rare, and yeah, situations just is just haywire. Then we used to, okay, I even asked someone who's in the forces. I used to ask about, we used to have the juvenile centers for the young offenders. Nowadays, it's not that apparent. I remember when we were growing up, that was the one thing that was being used to give you the fear of Jesus in you to act right, or else you're taken to juvenile. And the juvenile centers was actually mixed, and you'll have all types of people who are there. You'll have the youngsters who have burnt school and also burnt their classmates while trying to strike or whatever they did. And others were just taken by their parents as a lesson. Hi and welcome. In case you have a comment, you can comment below. Help us make the world a better place, safe place for everyone. And I'm not just sticking like saying, oh, the boy child is the one who's doing it wrong. We have ladies who manipulate it to the best, like best ability they can. And they can push your limit until some people become suicidal, some people become destitute and give up on life. It's sad that nowadays our conscience, not everyone has it. And there's somebody who said nowadays humanity is not there. Because tell me why, okay, on one hand I can understand, like let's say an accident happens and people take out their phones to record instead of helping the people in the accident and then post it online, as graphic as it is, not thinking about the parents or the relatives who know their child or their relative is somewhere, maybe heading home, and this is the first thing they see online, that that's my person, that's my relative, and they're bloody. This, oh, today's topic is about sensitive, being sensitive. I'll talk it, somehow it's graphic, but it needs to be talked about a lot, because at this rate that we are going, yeah, the okay, I know people say, yeah, the end of times and all that, or we are reaching the apocalypse. if you follow the science fiction movies and believe. Actually, yeah, sometimes whatever we do in the life right now, it shows that it's going to contribute to that type of ending. I right now understand the movie Angry Birds, the animation movie, because some people here are walking disasters of ang- anger anger issues, and we are getting less and less people who want to do the right thing. And like the set books we learned in high school about an enemy of the people, just because a lot of people are backing whatever is happening doesn't mean it's the right way. You know, a lie can be used to as a truth if it is told enough times and people believe that lie, and yet it's a lie. And when you once you come out and try to prove that lie is not a lie, you end up being the enemy of the people. Ooh, me and reset books. I love them because we whatever we were taught in high school through literature, we never took it like to heart that those things really reflect what happens in the society. The educational books and the writers really took uh, an interpretive and different outlook of whatever we are happening in our society, but we took it for granted, and yet now we are living in that reality, and you try to trace how to place it. Kids in school. So if a child, we have had cases of kids being abused in school by their teachers, by even staff, while parents know very well for these 8 hours or how many hours they are in this in the school, they think they're safe because kids are many and there's safety in numbers. That's a notion some people think of. And you'll not expect an educator or a staff, a school staff, while mostly some of the okay private schools have the security cameras and all that. Public schools not so much, but yet kids do say talk about if something is wrong. You know, the behavior changes will tell you if a child was bubbly and all of a sudden they're reserved. There's some telltales. And yes, even at home we hear about relatives abusing their 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 young ones. You have heard of fathers, actually real fathers, doing it to their own children, and they think it's normal. That's not normal. We need to do better as a society. We need to do better as a person. And we need our conscience back to protect each and every person. Now sometimes even people just live with terror because they don't know whom they can trust with their child. We even had, I said it's not just the men's side, even women. There's a time I had a case of a woman, actually, in the town vicinity I am in. The woman used her a few months old baby. She'll sell her child. She'll traffic a child. And since she was also a working girl, she didn't see any issue doing that to her own child. She'll sell, and also her herself would abuse the child. And it's a child who doesn't have a voice, who cannot shout out and say stop, or shout out and say this is hurting. A few months old baby went through that through her mother's care. The first person who's supposed to protect and shield the child from the evils of the world. is the actually the one who's the abuser. Yeah, the society right now, yeah, it is rotten. It's just like the sack of potatoes. If one of it is rotten, the whole of, you'll assume the whole sack is containing rotten potatoes. Yeah, it's heavy, and having that topic with this type of voice, I didn't expect it, but it needs to be talked about over and over again. Measures should be put. I think even in a police station in all countries, we need sensitivity police education on how to receive a victim and how to listen to a victim while they are giving their statement and assure them. Even though CCTV cameras are all over, we still have people doing the evil stuffs and not caring that there is someone looking at whatever they're doing. It's sad. But what you can do is be the best person you can be cautious, and also awaken your humanity side. Be better. Oh, today's comments, just greetings and anger because of the topic. It's a topic that irritates many, but needs to be done. And it needs to be often done. We usually joke around of the saying that humans always do the opposite of whatever they're told. You tell them not to do or don't, they actually do. So why what if we told them to do? Would they don't? It's funny, but sometimes it works, reverse psychology and all that. But we really need to do better and protect, let children be children. You as yourself, if you look, okay, for us, some of us, yes, we went through trauma, but we do have the cherished times of being a child and be happy and play around and interact with other children and learn and grow and be adults in the society that we're trying to work on balancing life and work and relations. But we do, yes, it happened, but at this point, are you going to, some people use their trauma and use it to pass it. We say hurt people, but there are people who stop that hurt and say, I'll not be another person causing another person's hurt or pain. Yeah, actually, that's my part in short for today. I can't speak much because it's strenuous to see people really don't care. Parents also, we need to take time to talk to our children and spend time with them. I know it's strenuous because right now you have to juggle between work and responsibilities and paying school fees and paying bills. Sometimes he needs to slow down and just embrace the moment with your child. That's all I had to say for today. Until I wish my voice can come back to its normal self next week. Last week I could not post a video because actually I didn't have any voice. It was that bad. But hey, getting better. Skin is glowing, happy, but really need to change the outlook of the society. We need to awaken our conscious side and do better. Yeah. Hi to everyone who came. Thank you. Next, I'll not be missing. Even when my voice is gone, I'll be on and just wait on your comments. That's it. Bye.